my entire lecture is question answer only, but I'm not going to use that audience response machine because it is going to take time. So just raise your hands only. So this is a trial question. So who is the best captain of Indian cricket team, or who was the best captain? A, B, C, D. A, just raise your hands. So very few for Kapil Dev. B, hardly one or two. C, oh, 50%. And D, Kohli. So there are less for Kohli than Dhoni. Kohli has to prove for more 10 more years. Okay. So, but now there is only one correct answer. Next onwards. So, based on observational studies, what is the estimated annual risk of bleeding in patient receiving DAPT? DAPT means aspirin plus one of the P2Y2 inhibitor, that is aspirin, clopidogrel, prasugrel, or ticagrelor. So, what is the annual risk of bleeding? 1 to 2%, 4 to 10, 12 to 15, or 18 to 20? A. You have to raise if you are in A. Only 1, 2 people. 2. B. No, there is no machine. B. Okay, 20%. C. 15, 20%. D. Very few. So correct answer is 4 to 10%. What is the most common site? Intracranial, renal, GI, or pulmonary? A. Very few. B. Renal? No one. Good. C. Almost everybody, 90%. D. Nobody. So correct answer is same, GI. Which regimen is associated with lowest risk of bleeding? Aspirin plus clopidogrel, aspirin plus prasugrel, aspirin plus tica, or clopidogrel plus CP2B3 inhibitor? How many are for A? So few are for A, 20%. B, least bleeding, few rare people. C, oh surprising, C has more than even A. D, there are 2-3 people. Correct answer is 1, aspirin plus clopidogrel. That is the clopidogrel is weakest of the all 3 B2Y12. So if your patient has high bleeding risk, give aspirin plus clopidogrel. Which of the following statements is incorrect? The longer the duration of DAPT, lower the bleeding risk. Greatest risk of DAPT related bleeding occurs during the first month of treatment. The longer duration of DAPT, higher the bleeding risk. And DAPT related bleeding relatively reduces after 12 months. So which is incorrect? A is incorrect. Which out of 4, 3 are correct answers. 1 is wrong. So few are for A. B, again few. C, very few. D, there are more for D. But 80% people did not answer at all. So they are confused. Answer is A. The longer the duration of DAPT, lower is the bleeding risk. That is not correct. If you give more and more, bleeding will be more. But after 1 year, maximum bleeding occurs in 1 month, first month. And after 1 year, if somebody is tolerating without bleeding, his chances to have bleeding will be less, but it's not gone. There is something like precise DAPT score. It is an app in the mobile. How many of you have this score in your mobile? Surprising. At least I have. Anyone? No one. Have you heard of this score? So you should have. It's a free application to assess the bleeding risk for your patient. It's a free application. It is available in Apple as well as I think Android also. You must have this. So it actually estimates the bleeding risk over next 1 year. So precise DAPT score provides a standardized tool for the prediction of out-of-hospital bleeding in a patient who is receiving DAPT. Which of the following variable is not a component of this score? So you don't know about this score, so you will not know the answer also. So there are 5 components: age, history of major bleeding, creatinine clearance, and history of prior PCI. Which is not a component? You don't know, I'll give the answer. History of PCI is not related to repeat bleeding. Which are these 5 components? Age. Increasing the age, higher the bleeding. Creatinine clearance, lower the creatinine clearance, means patient has CKD, more chances of bleeding. Low hemoglobin per se itself is a higher risk. Even low WBC count itself is a high risk. And previous spontaneous bleeding history, that is also a high risk. So you just put this yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and computer will give the answer. What is the chance of bleeding in next 1 year? It's a very useful tool. Have it. Patient had PCI of LAD and DAS 6 months back and is on DAPT, aspirin and clopidogrel, and he needs dental treatment. He needs root canal treatment and extraction of 2 teeth. Now what should be your approach? Stop both the DAPT before the procedure, stop aspirin but can continue clopidogrel, or stop clopidogrel, continue aspirin, stop both for 3 to 5 days, cover with low molecular weight heparin, and skip 1 dose of low molecular weight heparin on the day of dental treatment, or continue the both. Now what is the answer? A, few, 4, 5 only. Stop aspirin, continue clopidogrel. B, very few. C has more, so people want to continue aspirin. D has more crowd, almost 40%. E also is equal. And correct answer is E. Remember, very, very important thing. We put a drug-eluting stent, dentist or physician stops the medicine for 4-5 days before the dental tooth extraction, and patient comes with acute stent thrombosis. Or patient has prosthetic valve, he stops warfarin. Or patient has atrial fibrillation, he is on warfarin or say apixaban or dabigatran, and somebody stops it for 3-4 days. It is a killer thing. Never do that. Even if patient is on warfarin, on NOAC or any kind of antiplatelet, never stop it. Even if patient has no drug-eluting stent, he has atrial fibrillation and he is receiving for primary prevention of stroke, never stop it. What American Diabetic Association says, not to stop any ontothrombotic, that is antiplatelet, including near ones, ticagrelor or even prasugrel, warfarin or even NOAC before routine dental procedure. These are all routine dental procedures. If you need more than 5 dental extraction, or if you need intracranial major surgery, like you are doing commando surgery or something like that, oral cavity surgery, then you may need counseling with the consultant physician or cardiologist. If there is extra bleeding, you can easily take care by using gel foam, Surgicel. You can take suture of the gum also after removing the tooth, and you can use tranexamic acid also. So never stop any antiplatelet. If your INR is 4 or 5, okay, you may reduce the dose of warfarin before taking him for tooth extraction. Bring it to around 2, but don't stop it. Remember this thing, very, very important. A patient brought to ER with massive overt GI bleeding with hemodynamic instability. 4 months back, he had PCI with drug-eluting stent and he is on DAPT. Now, how should DAPT be managed in this patient? Continue DAPT, discontinue DAPT, but give only clopidogrel or prasugrel, or discontinue DAPT, discontinue both, but continue aspirin, so single antiplatelet, or immediately discontinue both. What is the answer? A, B, few, C, again few, D. So half of the audience was silent, but D is the correct answer. Stop any life-threatening bleeding or any hemodynamic instability. Stop DAPT regardless of duration of stent. Okay? And what is defined as a major bleeding or life-threatening bleeding? Any massive overt GI bleeding, genitourinary bleeding, respiratory bleeding, intracranial bleeding, even spinal bleeding or intraocular hemorrhage, or any bleeding which has hemodynamic instability. Stop DAPT totally. Patient is in ER, same thing, but now he had stent not 4 months back, but now he has stent 3 weeks ago. What to do? Same answers. Continue DAPT or switch over to single antiplatelet or immediately discontinue DAPT. What is answer? A, B, No one. C? D? So majority. So it is correct. Stop. Regardless of timing of stent, drug-eluting stent, even if I put one week back, you can still stop. Now same thing, same patient is still continued. How would antiplatelet therapy be managed after cessation of bleeding in this patient who was stented 4 months ago? So something, whatever was there, etiology is treated. Now what to do? Should we reinitiate DAPT? Reinitiate with single antiplatelet? Reassess need for DAPT versus single antiplatelet? Or discontinue DAPT indefinitely? For A, so pure for A. Single antiplatelet B, very 50%, almost more than 50%. Reassess need for DAPT versus SAPT. So again 30-40%. Discontinue indefinitely. No one. So that is good. Actually, you should reassess need for DAPT versus single antiplatelet, and most of you are correct actually. You can switch over to single antiplatelet, and there are now 2 trials. One is Twilight study, where after 3 months of DAPT, aspirin plus Tika, only Tika was continued. We heard in the morning that aspirin causes a lot of GI bleed. So better to give, if you want to give single antiplatelet, give Ticagrelor. So that was continued for 1 year after multiple high-risk angioplasties. So this was safe. Even in ladder-free and Onyx 1 trial, it was given, DAPT was given for only 1 month. After 1 month, only one medicine was given, either aspirin or clopidogrel, and patients were safe. So you can switch over to single antiplatelet if patient had overt massive hemodynamically significant bleeding with DAPT. Then you can switch over to single antiplatelet. In a patient undergoing elective non-cardiac surgery, in a patient who has already received stent, last slide, okay. Forget. It's okay, fine, thank you.